Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again to the United Regional Chamber's weekly update. We try to bring you on some interesting guests and talk about some important subjects from around the area. This week, it's my pleasure to bring on a friend, as well as somebody that we've had a relationship with the Mass Small Business Development Center, and our advisor is Miss Nancy Loud. Hey, Nance, how
Hi,
are you?
Jack. Great. It's looking pretty nasty outside, so I'm glad I'm inside.
Yeah, it is a nasty day, but as we were talking before the show came on live, thank God it's not snow.
No, you can't have. You don't have to shovel rain.
That's right. That's right. Well, Nancy is a senior advisor with the Mass Small Business Development Center, and we've had a relationship with the Mass Small Business Development Center since before I came here to the chamber. So, first off, Nancy, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, so I have been working for the Mass Small Business Development Center for more than 10 years. I started working in the international trade mass export division, and now I work in the small business development division. And what we do is we help small businesses start and grow. That's our mission. Anything that we can do to help a business get started, get going, and then later on, how to get bigger. So our services are free. And we have offices all across the state, but I work in Southeastern Mass. There's the rest of my colleagues there with Bob Nelson from the SBA on the my far right. And we're partly funded by the SBA and partly funded by Mass Office of Business Development. And we're actually headquartered out at UMass Amherst, which is how SBDCs are structured across the country. But I serve the companies that are in Southeastern Mass, and I work with all the chambers. We work with anyone who wants to work with us. And the Jack and the United Regional Chamber have been tremendous partners for us for many years, and so I thank for the opportunity to come on and talk a little bit about what we do.
Well, we want people to know and understand that you are a huge resource out there for anybody that not only to start a business, but as you just mentioned, to help their business grow. You know, nobody can do it by themselves. No man is an island, all those catchy phrases, but you get good, honest feedback and information through the Mass Small Business Development Center. Sometimes Nancy has to tell you things that you're not going to like, okay? But it's only for your benefit, for you to help grow your business, start your business. We've had hundreds and hundreds of members work with Nancy and her team over the many, many years, and very many success stories. If you're struggling a little bit, it's worth it to have a conversation. You can call the number that you see on the screen right now for a virtual appointment. Nancy sometimes comes to my office. She goes to other chamber offices in the area to meet with you face to face. It is a full on, oh, I don't know how you say, business review, if that's what we want to call it. But she helps you get the proper paperwork done, where you have to get your permitting done, anything that you need to help your business.
Yeah, I thought, when I was preparing to do this show today, I was thinking about one of the things I really like about this job is as no 2 days are the same. So I thought, all right, just what I was working on yesterday. I had one company that's quite well established that's in the process of purchasing another company and the building that they are going to be in. And I'm working with them to do all their financial projections for the bank that's going to finance that. So that was one company. Another company is a complete startup that is needing advice on things like how to register, how to protect his intellectual property, how he's going to establish distribution. Then I had another person who I needed to identify a contract manufacturer, somebody that could make the product for them. So, and that was just yesterday morning. So it really varies a lot, and that's what I like about it. I really, when I was talking to Jack about this, I thought, the most questions I get fall into two categories.
Yep.
One, how do I get started? And two, how do I get bigger? That's really the two big categories. Because once you get started, most small companies get to a stage where they're kind of stuck. And that requires a different set of tools to go from here to there.
And that's what you help provide. But not only the advice that you get, Nancy has more contacts than you could possibly imagine because of all the businesses that she's helped start, helped grow. But then she works as a team with the rest of those folks that you saw in the picture earlier, to make sure they match your needs with people that can help you. As she said, everything from contract manufacturing to little mom and pops. They have the experience and the contacts to help you grow.
There's one thing I do want to say, and this is kind of the it's a good news, bad news. There's a lot of help out there for you to get started, but what there isn't out there for the most part are grants, money to give to you to start a business, and a lot of people are very disappointed about that. There are some grants out there for things like signage or export development, but there really isn't a pool of money to help you make your business dream come true. There are small business loans, and we can help you get ready to get one. But I sometimes feel a little bit like the Wizard of Oz, that I don't have a bag that I can pull,
Right.
what everyone wants out of it. And that's sometimes what you said, Jack. Sometimes I gotta give, the news that they're not hoping to hear. The other is sometimes I look at business plans and I'll tell them, I think you're in the wrong location for this, or I think you're putting money into this franchise that isn't very well known and probably is going to be hard to be established. I mean, I give it to you exactly as I see it.
Yes, you do. And sometimes none of us like to hear bad news. None of us like to hear what we don't want to hear. But you're not going to send them off on some goose chase that, sometimes a consultant or a business startup
Right.
person will send them. I get that question a lot. What grants are available for me to start a business? And I have to say to them, there are not any. Well, I was told there was. Okay,
No.
I'm going to tell you, I get it right from the horse's mouth. We deal with the Mass Small Business Development Center, Mass Development, Mass Business Development. We deal with them all, and I constantly get emails or newsletters stating what grants are out. And it's like Nancy mentioned, there's an equipment grant out there, signage grant out there. If you need to rehab, there's some of that out there. But to start a business, there is no pool of money that people are going to just hand to you.
That's absolutely true, and and in a way, you can kind of understand it. All the lenders and all of the organizations, they want to make sure that you've put your piece in, and no one will finance 100% of whatever your dream is. But there are other things out there, and there's plenty of technical assistance, like with your business plan or other kinds of things. And even though it's not what I get sort of rewarded for, I actually think some of the most rewarding things I do is to help people from keep people from making mistakes. Like, I'm going to take all my 401k and spend it on XYZ business, and they have the wrong location, the wrong brand, or they're going into something that they really don't know very much about. And the thing that people really need to understand is customer acquisition takes time and is expensive. It's not like on TV where if you build it, they will come. It isn't. And, a lot of TV shows make things look a certain way. It's like my friends who are in the, design, all those real estate shows that someone snaps their finger and all of a sudden the house is beautiful. Well, they have a team of 100 people that are there working for days, so
Yes.
and I can always tell when there's an infomercial on saying how you can start a business with no money, because I'll start getting calls from, how can I start this with no money?
Right.
And I'm like thinking, okay, there's a late night special, and what they're typically selling are videos or something on how to start a business with no money. And guess what? They make money from selling videos.
Right. Sometimes, and I don't envy you in this, you have to play devil's advocate, where you have to tell them the truth. And sometimes people don't like to hear that. Now, I'm going to step off this subject for a second.
Okay.
Nancy, you are also the expert guru we have a lot of manufacturing companies here in our area that have to ship internationally. And tell us about the other one of the other hats that you wear.
Okay, well, I don't. I'm actually not as involved in that anymore. But there is a group that's part of the SBDC called the Mass Export Center, and it is the place to get information on everything to do with exporting. And I mean everything from packing, shipping, customs, freight, and then the very, very important topic of compliance. There are a lot of rules and regulations on complying, especially if you have a higher tech product with export regulations. So and again, a lot of small solopreneurs decide, okay, well, I really want to sell internationally. But what they don't understand sometimes are the costs involved. And
Right.
so what we do is we'll take an idea all the way from, your manufacturing facility to your customer, wherever it may be, and show what the cost will be so you can price appropriately. I don't know that I'm a guru, but I certainly work with some gurus. So
Well,
appreciate that.
I know every time that I've called to ask you a question, you have the answer right there on the top of your head, and it
Well,
has helped out many, many of our
not
clients.
You sound like my press agent, Jack.
Well,
Uh,
I I like to promote the people who really help us and help my members,
well,
and you've done a
the thing
fabulous
is,
job.
thank you, Jack. But we're completely ecumenical, right? I'm not trying to sell you services. Everything I do is for free. It's not really free. It's paid for by your tax dollars. So I have no agenda other than to help you. I'm not trying to sell you services or consultings or a lot of times people will ask for referrals. I'll always give them three names of, I ask for accountants and lawyers and things like that. But I'm not selling anything. And I think that's important
Yes,
when you're giving advice.
very, very important. And Nancy doesn't get anything out of this except the pleasure of knowing that she's helped you. And
Well,
like
there
I
is
said,
one thing we have to survey you a
oh, that's
lot
true. That's right.
to show our funders that we're actually doing the work, and that can get hey, when you take government funding, there's always something that comes with it, and for us, it's reporting. So if I work with you, you're going to get a survey, and you can say whether I was helpful or not helpful or whatever. But that's the only payment really is to give us feedback and. Tell us, how we were helpful or not helpful, as the case may be.
And I've never ever heard of a negative survey. And I talked to a lot of the folks.
Well, that's very nice. Thank you.
So, Nance, any final thoughts as we wrap up today?
Well, I think I want to echo what you said about you don't have to go it alone. There's a lot of help out there. And once you sort of tap into sort of any part of the economic development ecosystem, uh, you'll get referrals to other people too that can be helpful. If you're looking for a location, if you're looking for some support services, if you need some tap in, ask, and if I don't know the answer, I can find someone who can help you. And it may be someone else who's in the economic development system, but that's what it's all about: creating opportunity and jobs. That's what we're here for.
Awesome. Well, Nancy, thanks for taking the time to join me on the
My
show today.
pleasure.
Big shout out to James Friedman and the team over there at AACS who puts up with me every week.
Thanks,
We really
James.
we appreciate everything that they do, and they're a great community resource. Folks, stay safe. See ya.
Thank you.